mwale salula naifwele
Kongo sana mabuku Kongo elonga yebete chitani follow pakani malaika ndalama monga tume panamba mene yo ndine muntu wanu Dr. Bishop Reverend Congolo from Congo mbujima kananga chitani follow matuma my prayer request my friend request ma request yari onse mutuma kietu zakwela tumitandize inontawi tupempelera bantu bambiri bodwala lelo but chitani follow kufunsani mo question yuina ngwabwela kufunsa question zina yake ni Ruben Chomba afunsa question Bishop Dr. Congolo Mulume why do you bleach why vimbombo vione kamonga benilumbe. That's why bantu babwela kutenga pempelelo nanga mafuta amene ni mazola yachokela kwanu olo Bible ikamba manyovo 5:6 pamene Betsheba anabwela atenga mafuta anabwela afaka mafuta moja kinkonja anafaka betaso abwela afaka moseram ijatae mundi amene Jona analikuenda kuninive babu pasako na saka ya marasha muntu ngata abwela kufuna kuzola leka azole muntu ngata funa kuzola leka azole olo mundala beni lombengata naoneka munga evi muleke azole mafuta nyake mambo ya bako siwa mgulia mafuta ingombuzi leka muntu azole muzani vesa chifukushike manje ngabolo watuka na muntu batini bwala kukana tembelelo yo tuka na ilionse olo beni lombe azola ayamba kuzola aoneka munga nikageko muleke azole leka azole ni ndalama zake keremedeke tumani ndalama zanu tumani ma request itai mundi amene bobola musokonezo mbuzi zina ngusibwela pano bakabona la kubwela pano kuleta musokonezo mbuzi suka bwela kunufunsa nkanyo zoda chifuko atima mikono yangu inaonekana sana nanye manako yone kamunga leka yoni tembelelo to ayona yo watenga tembelelo kuchokela lelo ndala wanga bantu bonse pamene uzamba kuyenda bazamba kumbela monga ununkila kimbusi na kutembelela kwa mene uyenda kulikonse uyamba kununka kimbusi range.
Yeah, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was a publicity stunt from an alleged Bishop Reverend Nkongolo. So let me just set the record straight because a lot of people might get everything misconstrued and, they might think that might be real, but it's not. That was just obviously, I don't know, like a sketch or something, like some sort of comedic relief type of stunt. So that was just basically a publicity stunt. So that wasn't a real bishop. And I just thought of clarifying that because a lot of people were obviously outraged due to the fact that, that was a skin bleaching, bishop sort of vindicating himself from allegedly bleaching his skin. So that was obviously a publicity stunt. So don't really get outraged. But anyway, this also has brought a lot of discussions with regards to skin bleaching in Africa and in particular in Zambia, because we have, bleaching hustlers, bleaching entrepreneurs, peddling a lot of these, toxic chemicals to a lot of, vulnerable youths out there and the citizens at large. So why do you think we have a skin bleaching problem, not only in Zambia, but in Africa, or rather melanated nations? This is obviously prominent in, the Caribbeans and a whole lot of different places where there are melanated, people. So do we have inferiority complex? And, just let me know in the comment section below. So obviously we are going to continue having a lot of discussions because we are going to be talking about the Kasama District Administrator's Officer. The Kasama DAO was attacked by criminals. And a lot of people have obviously expressed their, anger towards this particular development. And prominent people such as Chimbakam Willie took this opportunity to sort of give his opinion. And we have seen the new Dawn distance themselves from the people who were, performing that evil act, because a lot of people are beginning to point fingers and saying, look, these are UPND cadres. And we obviously saw the information minister telling us to treat those people who were breaking the law as criminals, not necessarily as UPND cadres. So obviously that's going to be part of our discussions, and the Kabwata by-elections are going to be coming up very soon. So we're going to be talking about that. Stopilla and Sunzu is in Zambia, and he did visit his tenant, landlord, and he was at former Republican President Edgar Lungu's residence. He happens to be the landlord. Not that it matters, but that is also something that we are going to be talking about, because the Sunzu family was in some sort of situation a few months ago. We obviously heard the father to Stopilla and Sunzu get apprehended by the immigration department because he happens to be Congolese, and that whole debacle really brought in a lot of controversy. So Stopilla Sunzu is back in Zambia. But anyhow, let's continue watching this before we go on. So if you want to participate and be part of this particular live stream, kindly join the link in the description box below. So we are going to be seeing the Kasama DAO get attacked by these criminals. So let's listen to this, and then later on we're going to listen to Chimbakam Willie giving his opinion. So let's get it. Oh, before we continue, please kindly share this video in 5 different Facebook groups that you belong to, because come on, ladies and gentlemen, we are putting in a lot of work, and we are making sure that you are entertained and well informed with regards to what is happening in Zambia. So right now, if you are watching me, kindly share this video on your Facebook timeline and in 5 different Facebook groups that you belong to. Let everybody know that Z Corner is back online and we are doing our daily thing. So hit the like button if you are watching me right now. If you're watching me on Facebook, kindly hit the like button. If you're watching me on YouTube, kindly hit the like button as well. Keep on sharing. Let the people know that we are back online, because I want to hear from you. So here is the link. So to all the people who want to join and be part of this particular conversation, the link is being posted right now in the comment section. So use that and join tonight's discussion. Yeah, before we listen to Chimbakam Willie, right, Dr. Chimbakam Willie, I just want to give my opinion with regards to what happened earlier in Kasama. So we have to set the record straight, and we have to be very precise with our messaging and what we expect. So this is what we were dealing with during the tenure of the Patriotic Front, and we saw this. This was very. It was something that was occurring on a very frequent basis during the Patriotic Front time, and the people of Zambia were absolutely sick and tired of such evil acts, especially with regards to the public servants. So we do not want to condone such activities from ever occurring in Zambia. And this is one of the reasons why these people have to be regarded as criminals. You see, using the veil of a certain political party, or rather being affiliated to a certain political party, doesn't really give you the mandate or the immunity to sort of be exempted from being persecuted by the law. And this is one of the reasons why I'm actually as Mnalula, I am urging the UPND government, because they are sort of having the instruments of power and they are governing Zambia right now. So they have to really come out strong, set an example for would-be lawbreakers and just people trying to sort of be above the law. This is a very instrumental moment, which is going to define the, our perspective over, how they're going to basically be governing Zambia. So I really, really expect the UPND new Dawn government to obviously do something about this. It doesn't really matter who these criminal gang members or what these people basically breaking the law. It doesn't really matter where they belong or if they're supported by who. It doesn't really matter. They are breaking the law. It is obviously unlawful for them to do what they did. So they need to let us know that, hey, we are against this. And this is one of the reasons why the people of Zambia voted for us, because they no longer wanted to deal with such lawlessness. So this is a very crucial moment for the UPND new Dawn government. And I really expect and I want to see some action from them. At least these people need to be brought to book so that people all over Zambia can really get to understand what it really means if you go against the law, and especially if you disrespect public servants. So of course, I'm not really saying these people belong to Bananyuko, they belong to the Bananyuko, because by the end of it all, you can't really know where these people are coming from and why they have such audacity to do, or rather perform that sort of stunt. Because people just don't come out of the blue for no reason. They just don't do things like that, especially with regards to public servants. So we need to get to the bottom of these people and just find out exactly why these people had so much audacity and why they did what they had to do and bring them to book. Because I personally do not condone anything I don't really condone this. I do not. And it doesn't really matter whether you belong to this political party or that political party. A wrong is a wrong. And I'm going to be here and I'm going to voice out and just basically give my opinion. So, that's just my opinions. But of course, some people are going to take this opportunity to sort of, paint the picture with different strokes and just basically create a different narrative, which is very deceptive. And I'm really against, misinformation and sort of propaganda. And I know this is a very controversial topic because it depends on what side you usually tilt to. Obviously, PF sympathizers are going to be sort of, thinking, okay, these people are like probably UPND headers, and there's just going to be like some twisting of the narrative. Twisting of the narrative shouldn't be condoned. So just call a spade and don't really use such situations to create, or rather promote a certain agenda, if I can put it that way. So do not try to twist and spin the word, the narrative, because Zambians are smart enough to, filter through the BS, if you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, let's listen to Dr. Chimbakam Willie, because I really believe everybody deserves a voice, and there has to be media freedom. So it doesn't really matter. I'm going to be sort of highlighting what the Patriotic Front officials are doing. I'm also going to be highlighting any other political party, because that's just the right thing to do. So everybody is welcome here on Z Corner, and we are here for the people of Zambia, because by the end of the day, that is what really matters. So let me share this video right now. I can see some people joining us, so continue joining us if you want to be part of this stream. The link is in the description box below. So share this video right now before we continue, because we need to have at least 200 shares. I can see there's quite a number of you watching us, so kindly share. So let's listen to Dr. Chimbakam Willie and what he had to say with regards to the Kasama fiasco.
Very sad day in Zambia. Very sad day in Zambia indeed. And when we say that the UPND is a government of liars, for the liars, by the liars, this is what we mean. Surely, how can HH tell the whole world that there is and there shall never be capitalism in Zambia? And what we've witnessed today is very sad. And if this scourge is not brought to a stop, then really we have lost it as Zambians. How can the cadre surely go and beat up the district administrative officer and the woman for that matter in her office? The video that has gone viral makes very, very sad reading indeed. How can a married woman be treated like that? Being beaten as if you are beating your own child, or you are beating some criminal, or somebody who has maybe killed your parents or something. Surely, is this the way we are going to live, President Hakainde, Hichilema? You see, when you protect people for doing wrong things, they will think it is a normal way of doing things. Those same cadres beat up Chama America in Kasama.
Right. So I can see people like Joyce Nguluku saying it's the UPNDs, do not pretend. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not here to protect anybody because by the end of it, you get my point. So if they are UPND cadres, it doesn't really matter. Book them and let them face the law, because they are criminals. They are conducting criminal activities. So whether UPND, whether Shinganananyuko, PF, which other party, DP, it doesn't really matter. The thing is, they conducted criminal activities and they need to be brought to book. And we need to see, very fast type of action. Let the police officers or the people responsible for providing these services with regards to making sure there's law and order, let them expeditiously do what they have to do and let us see some action. Because just like Dr. Chimbakam Willie said, right, you can't really be beating an officer, for that matter, a woman, like that in broad daylight when there's cameras around and there is obviously a lot of evidence. That's totally unacceptable. So I'm not really here to protect anybody, because that's not why I'm here. Okay, so UPND or not, cage them. Give us an example, show us an example that you really mean business and you are not really going to be tolerating if you have Upuva and all these cadarisms, all these cadarism activities and the things that the people of Zambia do not want. So cage them, UPND or not, cage them. Cage those criminals. That's what we are talking about. So Mulenga says you are talking too much. Of course I'm talking too much, because this is my show. You are on my platform and you came to this is my show. So who else do you expect to talk? So we are here to talk, and talking we shall do. So yeah, let that sizzle in. What else do we have? Henry Mulenga says those thugs must be caged. The PF lost power because of that rubbish. The police must do their job. Exactly. This is what we are talking about. And the people of Zambia are not going to be turning a blind eye. We obviously need to see some sort of action. So we do not want people to be sort of putting on a certain regalia and saying forward, and then doing criminal things. That is what we are against. And if this continues to happen during or in the new Dawn government, I'm telling you, I'm going to be the first one on the battle lines and saying ifi tatudefuayefi, because that is the right thing to do. So anyhow, let's continue. So continue sharing this video. Let everybody know that we are live and we're talking about these things. So I want to hear your opinions, because I am going to be reading your comments. For example, Nyungwe Chiwala says, let the police work and arrest those guys. Exactly. So Naja says, watching from Clifton, Cape Town, South Africa. How you guys doing? Anna says they are she's watching from Lusaka is always in the building. Maputa Martin Bololo says no one is above the law. If they have committed a crime, let them face the law. I can see some people joining the live stream. Simconda, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. How are you, sir?
I'm very good. Can you kindly turn on your video? This is a professional show. Turn on your video, whether you are in the dark, at least find some bright light and make it happen.
Yeah, sorry too, but it's dark here.
All right. Okay. So anyway, what's your contribution?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, Happy New Year. Long time.
Happy New Year. We are alive. Thank God.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, Yes, I watched that same video what happened in Kasama. I think maybe I don't know if it's 2 days or yesterday. Yeah, that was very, very unfortunate. And as for me, I can't tolerate that. So, like what the president said, that he's not promoting capitalism. We don't want capitalism at all levels. We don't want. So, we want the police to come in and find out, and those people should be prosecuted. Yes. So that is what I can say. Those people should go to. They should be prosecuted. No two ways about it. That was criminality. And where was the security there?
Mm-hmm. But we did see a police officer like in the footage. There were police officers, So I don't know. Sometimes they could be overpowered by these people, and the inferiority complex that our civil servants have. Because during the PF era, right, we saw a lot of public servants get terrorized. If you know what I'm talking about, the cadres had so much power. So obviously, these people are still suffering from that inferiority complex. So sometimes the police they just get overpowered sometimes, But anyhow, continue.
Yeah. So that is what I can say on that incident. Yeah, also the press should come in. I think I saw also the statement from the government spokesperson also condemned the same situation what happened in Mansa there. So we're appealing to the police to come in and find out what really happened, and those people should be prosecuted according to the president. What he said, he don't want any cannibalism. And also, I watch also what Dr. Chimbakam Willie said. Yeah, sometimes yes, we know they are in opposition, so they try by all means also everything like to and kind of to politicize everything. Yeah, it's not mean that like what happened there in Mansa that there's cannibalism. For example, like if the president says you don't want cannibalism, it's totally that there will be no cannibalism. But when such incidents happens, what we are expecting is that the government or the police should come in and arrest those people. That's when I'm going to say that the president is meaning that he don't want cannibalism. When you have incidents like happened, those people should be taken to police than what used to happen in PF. When those things happened, nothing was happening. The cadres they are moving freely, but we are moving around with the criminals. So what we want in this government, those people should be taken to court and prosecuted. We have this video that is evidence enough. There's no question about it. No one to investigate and whatever. Those people should be prosecuted. That's all.
Right. Very good. So, Brother Simconda, just stay on the line. We still have a lot of things to discuss and talk about. So I'll be getting right back to you. Just stay on the line. I have some more questions for you. So let's continue listening to Dr. Chimbakam Willie. And let's listen to his.
The video went viral. I personally went to the police in Kasama. I saw the officer, the CIO, and I told him these people must be arrested, because if you don't stop this kind of behavior, it will spread and you find it very difficult to control. To date, those who beat up Chama America have not been arrested. The same cadres have now beaten up the district administrative officer, a woman. So sad for Zambia. Sad indeed. Sad for Zambia. And I think action must be taken. And when we said these empowerments you have said should go to CDF, we knew that the whole scam is to benefit UPND cadres. See how they've behaved. It is clear that they think that these constituency development empowerment for youth is only for UPND cadres. They've beaten a district administrative officer, a woman for that matter, a powerless woman, beating her like nobody's business over youth empowerment. And then you.
All right, so that was Dr. Chimbakam Willie giving his opinion. So it's up to you to, filter out some stuff and follow some things as well. So we are going to be giving audience to anybody who gives their opinions, and it doesn't really matter whether they are UPND, PF. It doesn't really matter, because by the end of it all, we all want to see Zambia progress. And sometimes it is a little bit tricky to deal with such matters, because for example, is it CFAS or KFAS member says, why are you supporting PF? If I publish UPND material, they're going to be like, why are you supporting UPND? So by the end of it all, so let me also play you this. So tetu sekeshe umuntu zona. So but by the end of it all, this is my platform. I'll do what I want to do. So if I want to showcase these people, I will showcase them, and nobody can do anything about it, So yeah, brother Simconda, are you there? Are you still there? Are you still there? Okay, it seems brother Simconda is having some internet issues at this particular moment. So anyway, moving on to Kabwata by-elections, right? Because there has been a lot of action coming through, and people are geared and ready to select their MP. So I'm very anxious to find out exactly who's going to be able to scoop that particular position. And of course, we already know the tragedy and the unfortunate event that really happened for us to get to this particular moment. And it's very, very unfortunate. I do not even want to think about what happened. And, but it is what it is. We are here. And, the people of Zambia are preparing to select their next MP. And this is a very crucial constituency, because it's going to set, it's going to give us an idea of what the people of Zambia are going to be inclining towards with regards to who they are in support and in favor of. Of course, at this particular moment, right, the UPND has an upper hand, or rather an upper hand. I don't know which one should I use, between those two. So it really depends. It depends, but we'll see. And to all the people who belong to the Kabwata constituency, please let us know who you think is obviously going to most likely scoop that particular position. So brother Oscar is in the building. How are you doing, my brother? How's Italy?
Hello, good evening. I'm okay. Thank you so much. And good evening, all the viewers and the panelists.
Good evening. So, what do you say about the Kasama incident?
Totally to condemn. And I'm a little bit surprised that the president doesn't even issue a statement. There are certain incidences where you don't have to give even a second. We don't want to give even a second. Even the police, the inspector general of police, my goodness, too soft. He's very good. He's a good man. But when you are a police, you need to be a little bit authoritative. I think you need to use his authority. He has an authority. So please, before these things they can escalate, before they become serious, before we go back to what we denounced, I think we need to fight this. Understand, because it will take some time, because it was so radical in the minds of our young brothers and sisters. There should not be good qualifications, they were used to that type of job for a long time, Mr. Muna. For a long time, the question of commander, it was so much deep in the young people's minds that even myself, I was so much surprised when I was going to Zambia for my holidays, and they would start saying, commander. What is commander? What does it mean? No, commander is somebody who looks like you want to guard the people. So it is so much deep in the minds of some of our simple, well, I'm sorry to say this, but I think probably less qualified intellectually friends and brothers and sisters. So definitely I condemn it. How I would have wished even the president would have just done a video message. Arrest those thugs. Those are thugs. They were thugs in PF. They are thugs in UPND. And it's the Zambia which is going to pay the consequences of this type of attitude and behavior. So I condemn totally.
Right. But we obviously saw a statement from the information minister, and she obviously said that those people need to be treated as criminals. And that's obviously the right thing to do. So at this particular moment, right, we need more action. We need more ferociousness, and we need more venom from the new Dawn government so that they can set a narrative and let the people of Zambia know that, okay, these guys really mean business, you know? So I think that's the most important thing. So here it's all about moving in quick and just correcting the narrative and just making sure that everybody sees this particular example. So, Brother Oscar, why do you think those people had the audacity to perform such evil acts, and who's empowering them? Where did they get all this authority from?
Well, I think what I would imagine, Mr. Mona, is we still have, I think, some problems with the police forces. We don't know what is going on. There is a lot of questions and unanswered questions behind the professionality of the men in uniform. I'm not talking about the army because it's another hemisphere, but I'm talking about the police forces, Mr. Mona. The fact that there are questions around their professional operation in the past regime, sometimes it gives the audacity to these young people to go on with misbehaving and misconduct, because they will say, well, these guys, they cannot do anything. We need to change the trend here, I think. The police, touching the policeman. Look at that man, that boy, he touched that guy. I don't know whether it was the council police or whether it was an official policeman. The guy came and he touched him and he almost slapped him. How dare you do such a thing to a police officer? Well, I think there is a lot to change, and we don't need to waste time to condemn these things. So, Mr. Moon, I think we need to ask, well, why they are doubting, these guys, they are doubting the professionality of the police. The police were there, Mr. Mona. They are the guys. I don't know whether they are private guards. I'm sorry, maybe you can correct me there. I thought I saw somebody like a policeman.
Right, but it doesn't really matter. If somebody is putting on that uniform, right, you have to respect them. You have to respect the uniform and, respect somebody's job. So it doesn't really matter. Security guard, police officer, you cannot conduct yourself like that in public. You cannot do such evil acts.
And there is something which surprised me very much. The guy making a video. What is the meaning of that?
And that is a very profound point. And like, who does that? So this is why thorough investigations need to be done, because I do not really see the need for criminals making a video, committing, heinous acts and just doing those things in broad daylight. So this is why the police need to do thorough investigations, because this could also be a ploy to tarnish the image of said political party. Because I do not really see the reason why, if you are a criminal and you know what you're doing is wrong, why would you be taking a picture, video? Why would you do that?
He was documenting from phase 1 to the last phase. That is unacceptable indeed.
Yes, and let's say there was an innocent bystander who was sort of witnessing everything. I'm sure those thugs would have looked at the person taking a video and saying, "Why are you taking this video? What are you doing?" Boom, Imbama. That's just how the cookie crumbles, you know. But the cameraman was probably part of the, the crew or something, because there's no way you can document, you can blog these types of situations. So we have to tread lightly and carefully and let the police officers expeditiously begin and conduct thorough investigations, and let them tell the people of Zambia, this is what we found out, this is what caused this particular fracas, and this is the truth. Because if they are silent, they are leaving people to speculate. When people speculate without facts, what usually happens is there's obviously the distortion of information, and the people with the loudest voice sets the record straight. So, Brother Oscar, continue.
And this is one of those incidences which I think deserved a press conference from the high authority. It might have been from the minister, the internal minister. It must have been from the permanent secretary. Well, it might have been, well, somebody quite authoritative. I know that the spokesperson, the government spokesperson and the Minister of Information issued a statement. According to me, Mr. Mona, that incident didn't deserve only a statement. It deserved a press conference. Why do we have press conferences to talk about there is a suspect, somebody who was corrupt, we are suspecting. They make a press conference on a suspicion. There is a concrete situation where we have evidence. People are there diminishing the intent and the desire, think of the new government, to do something better and different from what we have experienced almost for the past 7 years. So I think, well, I still condemn, and I think it was not enough just for a simple statement, Mr. Mona. I think in this case, there was supposed to be a press conference. I would have loved maybe even the Secretary General, the IG, the police IG, to issue a warning and a command. We are sending the police, arrest those people. In 24 hours, culprits should be caged. Then pending whatever is taken to court, but immediately, 24 hours, you send them, take a helicopter. Let the police use the helicopter, not just the helicopter for showing that the police have this and that. Come on, those incidences here, Mr. Mona, in Italy, those are the incidences which they refer to the mafia groups. Mafia groups, don't play with them. You have to decapitate the heads and the tail of a mafia group before it becomes dangerous and it contaminates the society and the public. So according to me, I think I would say, well, they have said there is a statement, too soft, too cold. It's a cold statement. We needed something hot, something powerful. Yes.
Right. So one of our viewers, Chilufia Mukosa, says, this is not about being peer for UPND, but as a Zambian. They should be arrested so that it doesn't repeat itself again. Honestly, the president should do something about this. So a lot of people have been talking about, where is the president? Obviously, today is a Saturday. You know that, the president is a very religious man. And according to the Seventh-day Doctrine, I believe you can't really do some work by Saturday, right? So obviously we're going to be we're expecting to hear something from him tomorrow, which is a Sunday, after the Sabbath day has been observed, etc. However, let me just balance up the narrative, because we do have a statement coming through from the Ministry of Information and Media. This is the Facebook official page, and this is a statement by Minister of Information and Media and Chief Government Spokesperson Honorable Chushi Kasanda on the attack of the MP. Sorry, on attack of Kasama District Administration Officer DAO. According to this statement, government condemns in the strongest terms the barbaric act, or rather attack, of the district administration officer in Kasama yesterday. The act is senseless, inhuman, and intolerable. In the video, in a video that went viral yesterday, visibly identifiable people are captured mercilessly attacking Kasama DAO, Beauty, and Mukoko. I should categorically state that the perpetrators in this despicable video should be treated as criminals and not be misconstrued as political cadres. Now, this is very important. You know, they are criminals. They are criminals, and so they should be treated. Government strongly believes that no sane political cadre should resort to violence. Government abhors violence and disregard of the rule of law. The police are urged to pursue these criminals and bring them to book to answer for their criminal acts. Government will not condone criminality, and anyone found wanting will face the wrath of the law. Government is determined to erase all remnants of political violence and ensure that all Zambians enjoy their freedoms as enshrined in the constituency. Original copy signed Honorable Chushi Kasanda, MP, Minister of Information and Media and Chief Government Spokesperson, 22nd January 2022. So basically, this was a statement. But just like you said, right, we need something powerful, something that has got that punch, you know, because these statements, we saw these statements in the the previous regime. We saw such statements, and it wasn't really having any effect. And think about the psychology of police officers, and they're going to be like, this is how they treated the district administrator officer, and it went viral. Nothing was done about it. How are we going to have the audacity to conduct pure investigations and bring these people to book? They're going to be engraved with fear, you know, because I really believe no sane police officer is going to big man, and that, you know, me, I'm going to go against these thugs, and I'm just going to be able to like do my thing regardless of how powerful they are. Because a lot of people have got that, you know, ship mentality, and they see how the rest of the, you know, crowd is performing. So if the majority of the police officers do not want to touch a particular something which is happening and that needs to be investigated, right, everybody's going to be gripped with fear. So this is why we need actual action and videos, press conferences. Let the UPND leaders come out strongly. Like, all the prominent UPND people need to strongly condemn this, because if this happens, it's not only going to be happening in Kasama, it's going to be happening on the Copper Belt, it's going to be happening in Northwestern Province, Luapula, etc. Brother Oscar.
And there is another thing, Mr. Muna, that I observed. You know, Chishimba Kambwili was saying, and not only Chishimba Kambwili, but also Silavwe. Silavwe should be the president for Gordon Party, isn't it?
Yeah, Jackson Silavwe, right?
Jackson Silavwe, yes. Jackson Silavwe issued a statement this morning, and he said, arrest General Mosquito. Because Silavwe said, Mosquito was saying, well, we are not going to the police. If anything happens, I think he was underlining and he was talking about the Kabwata by-elections. He said, anything happens, we are going to take the charge. We are going to take the charge, because when we take these guys to the police, they don't do anything. Now look at this. Allow me to make this comparison. Mosquito is the youth representative, is doing a good job going around the country and cooling down the anger of the youth. But the statement of General Mosquito, I think, was wrong, according to me. When the president is saying, let the police take charge now, I am not going to become a police, a judge, an inspector, an army. The president says, we are going to do the distinction of authority and jobs. Now, if the police should take charge, a lay person like General Mosquito, it is wrong to say, if they don't act, I am going to act. So I saw this, I think it was a mistake from General Mosquito and Slavwe, this president of the Golden Party. He condemned this and he said, please tell Mosquito, and now for me, now, Mr. Muna, General Mosquito was supposed to clarify what he meant, and it is quite dangerous because if he disregards the police authority, Mr. Muna, we are going back to the same things. The PF cadres, they disregarded the authority of police. That's why the guy would shout after being controlled on a road traffic offense. The guy was shouting very positively and confident. Baboma Lusambo, look at what this police doing. These guys are going to make us lose the elections. Look at him. You have to fire him. Look at that mentality. A cadre was giving direct information, telling one of the ministers to say, come on, sort this police out. Right, this is a very, very serious mistake. We are taking off, if we took off the authority from the police, Mr. Mona, then what is going to be the change? I think, well, things will be worse. Things might be worse. Also,
Definitely.
because, I'll ask a question. What will happen if one of the ministers now, the current ministers, what will happen if he's going to be found in a very serious case? Are the police going to just look at him to say, well, he's a member of parliament in the ruling government? I ask myself even this question, because tomorrow if we find a member of parliament in the new Dawn government involved in serious corruption, is the police going to say, well, this is a honorable and we are working with the current government? There is a say that they say, which I don't like. We are dealing with the what? With the current government or the government in power, something like that. Yeah. There's nothing to do. You cannot justify a case. Why? The government in power, it doesn't mean anything. A case is a case. A police case is a police case. If I commit that, the police should come and pick me up. If you, Mr. Muna, you commit that, I think the police should come and pick you up.
Right. And Brother Oscar, before we get on to the next point, right, let me just kindly remind the viewers watching us, because I can see a number of people watching us, and we are not really seeing the type of support that we really expect. So kindly take 1 second of your life and share this video on your timeline and in 5 different Facebook groups that you belong to. So we are streaming across various platforms. We've got 2 Facebook pages watching us right now, and we're also on YouTube as we speak right now. So if you are watching us on Facebook, do one thing, or rather do 2 things. Hit the like button and share this video. Share this video on your Facebook profile page and in 5 different Facebook groups that you belong to, because we are really, we're doing a lot around here. So please help us grow the platform by participating. Give us your comments, your contributions. We are reading comments. For example, Oscar says, I think let the police take keen interest into this issue before it gets out of hand. So, you need to support us. You can only support us by sharing this video and liking this page. So kindly hit the like button and share this video on your Facebook page and in 5 different Facebook groups that you belong to. Getting back to you, Brother Oscar. Hold on. Let's talk about the difference in terms of approach, because obviously we have seen President Hichilema. He's strongly against cadreism and lawlessness, corruption, etc. But President Hichilema is but one man. He cannot be everywhere and anywhere monitoring people. So how does he handle this? We know at one particular point, and at this particular moment, right? Let me just be honest, because I'm in touch with the grassroots, you know, the Tripa Facebook, Tripa ground, you know, the UPND youths, the UPND structures, they are dying and they are looking for opportunities. So by the end of it all, right, it's not really about having these proclamations on paper. You know, the people who really struggled for the UPND for many, many years, they were tormented. They want to sort of eat at this particular moment. So how do they get to maneuver and basically find the same opportunities that the Patriotic Front people had? Because apart from that, the Patriotic Front knew how to keep their people. They knew how to satisfy their people. No matter who's a new done government, but they the person, okay, everything is official. You need that degree, but that degree to how do we do it? So this is where the disparity in terms of approach is coming in, because structures, but in answer, they need to make things happen. They're going to low-key do illegal collection behind the president's back. So as much as the president has got this amazing drive to curb corruption and cadreism, if these UPND structures are not really well taken care of, you find that General Mosquito bamba kokulande fin tufia kusekesha makadas. You find that obviously bamba kusekesha makadas, because they know that makadas everybody put ground and they could power. So you need to balance it up. So a big man who and that stop cadreism etc. But structures, they are playing, they've got a different agenda. So this needs to be solved. Because if the structures are hungry, I'm telling you, chaos will break. You will obviously be very, very visible. What's your opinion?
Yes, I think you are right, Mr. Moon, and I understand also the UPND anxiety and impatience. The cadres in UPND, they have been impatient, and I listen to their comments. Sometimes they say, well, we have suffered a lot for this party. Some of them, Mr. Muna, they have suffered in UPND for the past 15 to 20 years. 15 years of staying into opposition, and they have undergone a lot of suffering and humiliation. The way I explain, I am not putting in doubt that they suffered. Some of them were beaten. Some of them have been injured up to now. Some of them have been injured. I heard this morning one of the members of the Central Committee, I think of HH, or one of the campaign teams. That young man, a very thin and tall man. I don't know the name. He's very thin and tall man. He just speaks like our president himself. If somebody on the panel can remember his name, that would be quite.
I think the viewers can remind us. I can see.
The viewers can remind us. This guy, he made a statement this morning as well. He made a statement, and the question is this: people have suffered, yes. UPND cadres have suffered. Quite all right. Was it wrong, the behavior of our friends in the PF? It was totally wrong. Even now, fortunate enough, Mr. Mona, some of the PF people now, they are realizing, they are saying, well, I think the Zambian people have told us that we made some mistakes. Let us start afresh. Let us stop violence, arrogance, telling lies, because they are telling lies to these people. They were very arrogant. They were very violent. And the people were against these things, apart from the tribalistic comments that they were they based on. So the people of Zambia have refused. Even the UPND cadre, Mr. Muna, they refused this attitude. The police were not professional. Unfortunately, for too long, Mr. Mona, police were not professional for too long. I as well understand that if a UPND cadre would see that policeman who sent President Hakainde Hichilema into prison, that policeman who wanted to hide Hakainde Hichilema, that policeman who was saying, if we had found Hakainde Hichilema, maybe we are going to do something terrible to this guy. These police people might be in the police services up to now. And I understand, Mr. Muna, the anger of the UPND, especially if they come across such type of an individual. Quite all right. You can convince me on that. But was it positive? Was it a good move? Was it a good way of governing the country? No. The Zambian people have said it was wrong. So if it was wrong, it's going to be wrong even now. Mr. Moon, I think my invitation is especially to the UPND hard-working cadres, those guys who have been running, defending Hakainde Hichilema for many years. My appeal is this: you need to give the president some time. Rome, Italy, Mr. Muna, Rome was not built in 1 week, in a day, in a year. It took centuries to build this eternal city. So Hakainde Hichilema, this president needs some time. And you are right when you say he is alone. How do we, during campaign, he was saying, okay, Bali will fix it. Bali will fix it. Yeah, definitely he has his responsibility. Now, Hakainde is alone. If the police IG is not going to help him, if the Home Affairs Minister is not going to help him, if the Minister of Justice is not going to help him, gentlemen, it's the Zambian country, it's the Zambian government which is going to lose. It's the Zambian people. We are going to lose, not the UPND party. They know that it was wrong. We are trying to reconcile the people. PF supporters are also our Zambian friends. They were Zambian friends and relatives. They supported a party which was not very straightforward. Yes, they did. They made a mistake. Definitely they made a mistake, Mr. Mona. But it was not the Zambian people's fault. It was the fault of the leaders in which they put the trust and authority. So if we just leave President Hakainde Hichilema to say, Mr. Mona, when he was leaving to Dubai, the president made it very clear. He said, I don't like corruption. And the president said, I understand the clique of thieves are teaching my ministers to steal or to make dubious contracts. Okay? We were laughing about this comment. The clique of thieves are teaching my ministers. Well, I don't like this statement myself, because how can you learn from a thief? Well, I think it was wrong to say, well, the president, it's a statement. Well, now, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema said, he went on to say, even if I'm going to remain alone to stand for the Zambian people, I don't care. I will remain alone. Definitely, the president has good intentions to help the country, but it's not enough. He needs help from me as a citizen, from you, Mr. Muna, from the PF, and from the UPND, and from all the political parties in the country.
Right. So, Brother Oscar, for example, one of our viewers, Mbu Mwae Mukelevai, Kimazivwani. So he says, you people, this must not always be about the president. All channels and law should obviously participate. Just cage them. And I do agree with him. You see, at this particular point, right, we shouldn't always be waiting for word from the president alone. Where is the Kasama police? I don't know, the people who are responsible, the highest ranking police or investigative officer in Kasama. What are they doing? What are they getting
What are
paid
they
for?
doing?
So in such instances, I would urge the president, if there is any inconsistency anywhere, change the person. There are people who are occupying high-ranking offices with regards to investigations, and all these investigative wing officers. They need to they need to perform. So if the president is obviously not always going to be like going podium and recording a video and always saying Kadarism, just make the people who are not performing, chest them out and bring in other proactive, because we need proactiveness. We do not need to have dormant people. If people from Kasama who are responsible for providing or rather maintaining law and order are just mute, then why do we have them? Why are they getting all these perks and incentives to occupy those offices? Let them go. So the president needs to make sure that he's got competent and capable, proactive people, because by the end of it all, no matter how much he can scream on top of the mountain, if everybody around him is lazy and lacking, it's going to be a bad look for him, and he's obviously going to take the fall, and people are going to be looking and pointing at him saying, "Va President Hichilema, you didn't perform." So he needs to make sure that he sees the team around him, and whoever is not performing and participating and being proactive, let them go. That's the only option.
And there is another thing, Mr. Mona, that I've observed. The past 7 years, Mr. Mona, I could observe the style of working of our police. I am not going to talk about the secret services, the CID and all those people, because they do not disclose how they operate, of course. Now, I am going to talk about what has transpired. Mostly, I have always been listening, Mr. Muna, of call outs. The police sends a call out. Somebody goes to the police for questioning. If I can express my desire, I think the way the police can also act, so that the people now, the citizens, are going to be aware, and they're going to be to get scared and to behave themselves. The police should make some investigations on themselves without calling the suspect. Go pick the suspect, take him for interrogation, find whether he is guilty. You cage him. When he is not guilty, you release him. I don't think it's a good idea to summon. You have been summoned for questioning. Or then the other thing that I've heard most often, Mr. Mona, is when they say, please, the citizens, can you report to the police? You get the point?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why should I be employed by the police to go and report? I ask you, Mr. Mona, a question. Let me provoke you as well. Mm-hmm. Can you help me understand why me, a citizen, should I be employed by the police to go and report for criminal activities? Why can't the police themselves go and discover who is paying tangents, who is paying bribes? Why can't they use the secret cameras, put them on the button, like here, Mr. Mona, we have very small cameras, like a button. Why can't they go and find out the people who are bribing? The police themselves in civil clothes, let them go at the market. We cannot talk about the cadres at the market asking bribes from the bus drivers 4 months after changing this government. Why not taking people in uniform with civil clothes, going into minibuses? Why can't they do such a simple thing? It's a simple thing.
Well, let's be a little bit controversial, Brother Oscar, because you have brought up a very profound point, and this is something that I really want the people of Zambia to know, especially if they voted for the UPND and they are sympathizing with the UPND, because genuinely I want to see the new Dawn government turn Zambia around, because I was, you know, sympathizing, still I am, and this is what we were wishing and desiring for, and it came to fruition. So there needs to be results. So the thing here, brother Oscar, is all about the structures. You know, these people know these things, but the structures are hungry. The structures need to make money. The structures need opportunities. So, you know, it's difficult to completely get rid of these things, because those people, by the end of it all, they feel neglected. I am talking to a lot of people in different provinces who belong to UPND structures, and they are saying we are being overshadowed. We are not getting the recognition, and we are not really being recognized. We do not have any opportunities. So what do they have? What other solutions do they have? They check the blueprint of the Patriotic Front. They continue doing what the PF was doing. They continue making money and, you know, just using the obvious ways. So the thing is, the structures need to be well fed, and these people need to be taken care of. That's when we're going to see that they are going to be following the actual UPND doctrines, and they're going to be moving in tandem, because it doesn't really make sense for them to go home hungry. They don't have opportunities, even though the president is saying all these good proclamations. The structures need to eat, and those people know how to collaborate with each other. The cadres know the police officers who are responsible for certain sections of society. They are very well coordinated. So if those structures are not well fed, they are easily going to infiltrate and communicate with each other. This is one of the reasons why President Hichilema said, my ministers are being taught bad manners, they're being corrupted, because these people know how to communicate with you. Can't really detect and say you won't be able to communicate with each other, especially when they're hungry. When there are no opportunities, they will collide, and they will make sure that they talk to each other. They'll talk to our police officers responsible for conducting a mine. They'll just say, bwana mwala diamonga twapoka fya kuma bases aya twala midisha mumwaida ine mwala kwata okangwe. Who wouldn't want that, especially when there are no opportunities? So if they want to solve this issue, they need to make sure that the structures are well, they've got opportunities, etc., because these people are definitely suffering a whole lot.
You are okay. Your observation is quite brilliant, Mr. Mona. It's quite a brilliant observation. The people are hungry, but all the same, the damage was just too much. That we need time. This government need time. They need even the collaboration of the cadres, the UPND cadres themselves, by giving the president time, or giving the structures time to be stable and to know how to move. Well, it might take time. It might take time. Maybe there is a question. Some of the cadres, I'm going to say, well, we are hungry. We have waited for 13 years. This is what I heard one of these guys were telling me. We waited. We were waiting for 13 years. But yes, 13 years has passed. But I think we can wait for 5 months, maximum probably for a year. It's not easy. Look at the different. There is something which has come out which is very different. This, especially to the cadres, I might maybe also appeal to the UPND cadres. You people who have suffered a lot. There's foot soldiers, the UPND foot soldiers who have really toiled. They have suffered a lot. They undergone a lot of humiliation and beatings and the like. But what I'm trying to say is, we need to change. The president wants to change. He's saying, let's build a different country, a country of laws, a country of professionalism, a country of division of labor. Let's build that country. Hakainde is going to fail if we leave him just to decide. I personally, Mr. Muna, how I would love to see that probably if one of the current ministers is going to behave, how I wish the president can change them immediately and not wait
that's bound to happen. It's just a couple of months away, literally. So this is why barandati ifintukumwena patu no for example, this situation has happened. So it doesn't really matter whether it was sponsored, whether it was sort of an agenda. It doesn't really matter. The thing is, how is the new Don government going to react to this particular situation in Kasama? So from here, we're going to be able to say, okay, if that happened, right, it was countrywide. People were obviously against it, as we can see from the comments. A lot of Zambians are pretty much against that, right? So from here, we're going to observe how the new Don government is going to react. If they turn a blind eye, they keep it hush hush, then we can know that obviously if a minister, does something, it's just going to be hush hush, and it will just, be regular activity, same things happening over and over again. So we'll obviously see.
And Mr. Bruno, to the regarding to the UPND who are waiting to be employed, I am appealing to these brothers and sisters, gentlemen. Look at what the president has done. He has changed drastically the way of governing the country. He has introduced the decentralization, Mr. Muna. It's not something simple. It's a great move. From centralized government, everything was coming from Lusaka. And that's why when everything was coming from Lusaka, the chief bootlicker like Bowman Lusambo would be taken from Ndola to go and work in Lusaka, whether he was qualified or not. But he could make some enough noise into the party and into the Patriotic Front. He became now the minister, Lusaka minister of the capital city. So everything was done in Lusaka. Akasaka kandalama kali kulusaka. Am I wrong, Mr. Moon? Akasaka kandalama kali kulusaka. Everyone was going to Lusaka to say, "Ba President, we are happy. Thank you very much for the money that you have sent us." Everything was coming from Lusaka. Now, UPND cadres, brothers and sisters, look at this extraordinary change. Decentralization. From 1.5 million to how much? From 1.2. Is it?
I didn't get that. What's your question?
The amount of CDF. Yeah, CDF. Yeah,
I think maybe 20
from 1.5 to 15.7, 25.7. Mr. Muna, from 1.5 to 25.7 million CDF money to be utilized in constituencies. Gentlemen, let us think about that beauty. Of course, there is a danger, Mr. Muna, here. 25.8 million CDF in constituencies. The danger is this. If the UPND cadres, they do not make the so-called cooperatives or private companies as the president is requesting, I understand the condition is that this money is not going to be given to individuals because the president wants as many Zambians as possible to utilize these funds in their constituencies. Now, if the UPND who worked very well, they are not going to their constituencies, form some cooperatives, Mr. Muna, group up a group of people, group of the youth, 100 people, get them some funds from the CDF. How then can we complain to the government? Why should we complain to the president who has taken the money from Lusaka and he has taken it to the constituencies? That is allowing a possibility of a numerous youth, girls and boys to get employed, Mr. Muna. That's my observation.
Yeah, that's definitely something which needs to be uploaded. It hasn't been done like that, if I do have my facts right. So it's a very profound proclamation, and we really applaud the New Dawn government for doing this and remembering the actual constituencies and these particular structures. But the usual comment that I'm getting from a lot of these people, like for example, I'm a UPND councillors, I'm a UPND chairmen for various constituencies, right? These people have been neglected to some extent. Not a lot of them are, having the privileges of being in the New Dawn government. They're like, what's going on? Are we ruling or not? These people, I'm a councillor Z, I'm a structural influential people. They are not really getting the attention and the opportunities as they should. So what happens if those people are not really getting these privileges, etc, all the people that they preside over, because that's how structures work. These people have got influence, background, etc. If these people are not really getting the attention and all that stuff, people obviously go to them, and then they need to calm everybody down. So the general notion that I'm getting across Zambia, in all the different provinces, the councillors have been neglected, the chairman, etc. These structural influential people are being neglected. So of course, it's not just about mayor political kadea kwa watu wa imia jombo na kwata panga. No, I'm talking about actually actual people like I'm a councillors, people who've got to Utupoto, but on
But
maybe like a lower level.
who do you think have neglected the councillors? Who?
Well, the government, like they are not really getting opportunities, etc. Opportunities are not coming their way. Of course, we know that these cooperatives are going to come eventually, and but at this particular moment, right? For example, I'm a councillors, they're getting very little pay, very, very little pay, something that they can barely survive off of. It's very, very negligible. These people are always being visited by their constituency members saying, vacancy, not quite a issue. But if you look at the support that they are getting from the government, it's very, very minimal. They're not comfortable.
Yeah, but then, Mr. Muna, if you said this, I think the Mr. Silabwe, I go back to this president, the Golden Party president. He said, when we say we make the councillor comfortable, are we not going back to the same system before? Because if we let them get comfortable, if we don't change, everyone has been talking about the mindset. Mindset is not only for the ordinary Zambians. I think the mindset should also go to the people who lead us, councillors, peers, members of parliament. According to me, Mr. Muna, even our brothers who are serving us, they have to change the mindset. President Hakainde Hichilema would say, we are going to serve the people of Zambia. This is the word he uses, Mr. Mona. We are called to serve the people of Zambia. Now, if we go back to say, well, it is quite reasonable and it is normal that I take advantage of my position.
Not really taking advantage, but at least, being comfortable. Well, if I say comfortable again, then I'm just saying, well, I'm saying tabade basunga wino muchibemba fe funingalanda tabade basunga wino tabade kwa tafira umfika wino
tabade kwa tamotachi
tabale kwata mukatachi karake nakakoyo bati okay apa ni nana okay apa ndemva zinebo cancer but over kwati bachiri mu opposition. This is the best expression. These people are still feeling like they are in the opposition.
But also to the leaders, Mr. Muna, 4 months is just too early, I think. Please, our comrades, our honorables, those who are in the UPND, I think 4 months in the line is just too early. The working together, you want kwi mina pamo. obwingi bwanseba mukisungu nkikyofu balanda Mr. Mona obwingi bwanseba kwimina pamo. If one would do the job like that, another one would do the job like that, I think it will be difficult for this new Dawn government. If kwabo kwimina pamo obwingi bwanseba kwimina pamo nga kwabo kwimina pamo, Mr. Mona, the change will be noticed, and sooner or later kalaka touch tulelo ndapo underneath kalaka touch kalya tikaisa is automatically shan.
But anyway, we saw people like Matomola Likwanya. I'm sure you know him, right? He was saying that he was on movie TV saying that these people, they are not answering. They're not answering. I'm a phone call. Attention. Attention. Very important. No, but I'm gonna finish the kamundi done. Kuba papet. Aba disana vocal and aba over ikete. You know, tatuleba mona kumantansh. Quite of abantu bambifita. Mwisho no kuba porena party. Porena nan. Baba pera china. She position each kudumwa ide. Yeah, quite people who really suffered. You know, they're like, why did we do that for? You know, so this is one of the reasons why people like
that one you are right. That complaint I've heard it, and it is quite a reasonable complaint. It might take some time. I hope also they are going to get rewarded. Our brothers and sisters, probably they are going to be rewarded as well. They are right to ask for that.
We're just going to sound like, you know,
if you are Munandela and that is the fat weather the kunu mapantunga pa to allow weather ida to akene that ubomba Ariamwiwala. Apart today, Avena Avanes wa UPND that. Today bomba mwiwala. So to station. Turia mwiwala.
But if we have to be politically correct, what these people are saying is, you know, pay attention to them. It's about paying attention to them and, you know, making sure that everybody feels like they're getting the attention that they deserve. A lot of them are feeling neglected.
Can I make a suggestion on that point, Mr. Mona? You are right to quote that. But can I make a suggestion? The fact that this new Dawn government, they want to distinguish the work of the party from the work of the government, I think, Mr. Mona, why can't it be taken to the party structure itself? If the people are complaining, let the party structure go and now talk to the general cadres and those hard-working people to say, well, come on, come. What is wrong? It says, oh, I cannot pay my rent. Let the party. I hope it might make sense. If the party can go and help these gentlemen, I think it makes sense, because if we go back, that the government can look into the plight of the UPND cadres in government.
Yeah, but anyway, moving on to our next topic of discussion. Obviously, civil servants, we saw the increments. Let's play this one, brother Oscar. So it seems that civil servants now increase the new Dawn government have delivered. So what do you think about this you know, salary increment from the new Dawn? But before you chime in, brother Oscar, let me allow other people to also chime in. Brother Jason Munibwanj, what do you think about the salary increment, Nama civil servants, and these new exciting things?
Brother Mnarula, thank you so much for allowing me in, and let me just say good night to you and good night to Brother Oscar. And I'm sure I've seen Brother Richard. I don't know if he's a guy who contested as one of the mayors in Luansha. Brother Richard, can you confirm if I'm correct on that one? Are you the one?
Unmute yourself, Brother Richard.
You are 100% and 5%.
Oh, ni mwa you contested
105.
as a mayor. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's good to see you, brother. We are together actually right here in Luansha.
All right.
Yes, thank you so much to have seen a brother from the same turn. Brother Mnarula, you know, it's a thumbs up to the new Don government actually for these increments.
Yes.
0.5% increment, but at least, as you may be aware, brother Mnarula, you know, my wife is a civil servant, she's a teacher. Though nangtakalemoneka sana, at least you know ka 900 nakapanga ko difference rather than trotma one kwacha walevika ko ba PF. So it's a thumbs up to the new Don government actually. It is promising, and you know, one of the things that actually, as a businessman, I've observed that despite the increment on the fuel prices, we have seen that commodity prices are somehow stable. Despite that, on cooking oil na kamilimi unabatuna abantu nabalira sana. But these other tuma commodities, tutu apalama soap and the like, they are somehow stable. They are just within everyone's reach. So we are saying, may the new government continue considering adding more increment on the civil servants' earnings so that at least they add meaning onto these people, because you know they do a lot. If we are to talk of scraping off corruption, it has to start from motivating the civil servants, because actually, you know, these are the guys who are the pallbearers. And if the pallbearers are not to be considered where income is concerned, then it will mean this corruption that we are preaching against, it won't be dealt with. So actually, this is one of the indications that the new Don government is working on, is making on ensuring that corruption kafumapo, so that even if somebody is corrupt, nangu bamutinika to say bwana nsonso, and especially traffic section eba chiramo sana aba. So akaka increment kaisa, I'm sure it is going to make these guys at least to exercise that kind of integrity somehow. So I think that's what I can say on this one, Brother Mnarula.
All right. Brother Richard, what do you think about these increments? Today's salula?
Ate akatanshita kalisha ba PF mwale salula na ifwebe neture salula. No, you know, I like about this new Don government. I think we are in the right channel, in the right track. And I appreciate His Excellency the 7th Republican President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, for his stance, how he's taking things. We can see that we see the future ahead. So natumona kweno tuma increment natu wako nomba mwarishi wefo chaba inonshita ngomwine comrade afuma mkulandirapa. It has to be na civil servant bene, they have to see kwe batawe ututuma increment batubikirako tebeka iyo na muma other sectors na murefu kwa chimo chini. So we appreciate to the new Don government for this job well done. Yeah. Now,
All right.
they have to reduce the borrowing money from these loans, but Kongola, because you know when you are borrowing too much, you may end up getting a 300, a 250. Others we have been witnessing such a thing. Yeah. So also them, when you are borrowing, at least it has to show that this money which I've borrowed, at least I've done ABCD. Rather than you borrow, you haven't seen how far how that man has worked. So tatulevwayo kula mwanafye musebanya omotulekala mumananikane then bachanda popa fintu fyama like ama increment ya fintu fo tukwelele. Yes, these things was supposed also to be in PF. If the PF won the election, they would have also increased the fuel price, because when you see how much they were paying those subcontractors they were paying them a lot of money. You see, which was reducing the income for the government. Then sometimes abantu balelirayo bafunyako subsidies shan. You know, if you have a Sungu when we are in colony, they were supporting us, but no, these people now they are independent. They have to hustle for themselves. Now, us Africans, we like things on a silver plate. We don't know how to work. You see, we have to be very creative. So you find that other countries, like when you go to Nigeria, you find that if someone completed his school or secondary or tertiary, you find that they are creating the jobs themselves. He make a company, start working on his own, and he start employing other people. Number here in Zambia, we are just waiting for the government to get employed when I finish my tertiary school. So also these are the issues which we have to look into. I submit. Thank you.
Yeah. So that was a very good point. Of course, in order for that to happen, the environment needs to be created. And obviously, we saw some good moves by the new Dawn government, where, for example, they minimized the investment threshold to $50,000. But if you look at $50,000 as a base sort of investment threshold for local entrepreneurs to have the same incentives and perks as foreign investors, right? If you look at 50,000 as the best investment level, not a lot of Zambians, can be able to afford $50,000 in order for them to have the same investment perks as foreign investors. So that was a very good move, but I feel there has to be different tiers and there have to be different categories. So they need to reduce it, maybe put it down to around $5,000, even $2,500 in order for citizens to have certain perks and incentives, so that we can have that environment that is going to allow people to go out there in society, create businesses, entrepreneurship, etc., and just create and not depend on the government. So $50,000 as the threshold for even citizens to have the same perks is a little bit too high for the majority of Zambians. So let the president include and introduce different tiers: 2,500, 5,000, 10,000 US dollars, 20,000, 50,000, and so on and so forth. At least like that, we're going to level the playing field for the majority of Zambians. But anyhow, let's be a little bit controversial, because I want to talk about something. Now, everybody is happy that Vasibo Sevans now, but gentlemen, we are intellectuals. Let's talk about inflation. Inflation is going to come, and it's obviously come already. So if you look at these increments, if you look at it from an economic perspective, because there has been inflation and the stocks have started, we are getting into that recession. And I remember, Brother Jason, we did talk about the pending economic recession which is going to happen. And by the way, this is the S&P 500, right? And we are obviously losing support with regards to us maintaining the upside. So at this particular moment, right, Icharonach Fulungana and the world is beginning to gear up for that particular economic recession. So if that happens, obviously countries like Zambia that are highly indebted are obviously going to end up, suffering. And I believe the kwacha is inversely correlated to the dollar. So for example, if the dollar becomes stronger, the kwacha loses value, and therefore the standard of living becomes even higher. So if you had to factor in inflation as well, it's basically the salary increment. But of course, these are factors that we can't just sort of get rid of, because we're in Africa, and it's going to take a little bit of time for us to start challenging the dollar. But the thing is, effort. To me, effort is the most important thing. Vanyu Don government Nabalunda, with or without inflation, we're happy. At least there is some development coming through. But anyway, I just thought of talking about that from the economic perspective. So, any additions, gentlemen? Brother Oscar, go on, Brother Oscar. Brother Oscar, I'm freezing. Maybe it's me. I don't know what's going on there. Brother Jason, you can go on.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Brother Muna. You've brought out a very important point.
You're right, Mr. Muna, about the caution on. You're right. Can you hear me?
Yes, but your internet is a little bit unstable. So let's give it up to Brother Jason, then rejoin Brother Oscar. So, Brother Jason, continue.
Yes, I was saying this is a very important point that you actually brought out. On one hand, we can applaud the New Dawn government for the salary increment to the civil servant, because that means, more money in circulation. But again, if we go economics, we are looking at the purchasing power of our currency. Because if we look at the fuel increment, that means the increment in commodities, especially the dairy commodities that we use. So we are saying, if we look at the increment that they have done, it is from an economic perspective, we can say that it is not something actually which has done to give people hope. We are looking on the adverse effect of the COVID-19. It is like as a globe, we have a challenge economically where commodities have gone high and the like. So we are saying that if we are to balance up as a country, we need to look at the investments that we are running as a country. What are some of the manufacturing ventures we have in order to stabilize the prices of commodities? So if the government is just going to run an economy, which is just going to be like a consumptive economy, then it will mean even this same increment that they have made, they are just going to be sinking. Because if we look at the purchase power of our currency, it's not that much, but Brother Muna. Because if I compare like 2011 and 2022, if you go with 1,000, let's say in ShopRite, you discover that you are going to manage buying a trolley of goods. But this time around, I don't even think a civil servant will even manage to fill up even a basket. So we are saying that the government actually, it has to look into the area of how are they going to stabilize our currency. If we are going to allow our economy just to be a consumptive economy, then it will mean the government, the New Dawn government actually is doing less as compared to what they promised. So if it has to give up that assurance to the people, if it has to gain that confidence from the general public, they have to think of production. They have to support the local entrepreneur. Like you said, it has to lessen the investment threshold. $50,000, Brother Muna. And if you look at the financial policy that we have as a country, the government is not doing much to empower a local entrepreneur. So that will mean if the threshold will be at $50,000, it will mean automatically a local entrepreneur is kicked off, and it will pave way to a foreign entrepreneur, because these guys, they have got cash. Now, if the government is going to say, okay, the threshold investment will be at 50,000, and the government is going to be looking at the potential investors, the local investors, so to say. They are going to be funding them. Then that will be okay. But if the government is not going to do that, then this will be a total flop, and it will mean still more we are running like the PF was running, because the local entrepreneur is not prioritized. Yeah?
Exactly. And on that particular point, right, Brother Jason, you brought in a very profound point, because even if they reduce it to, they have reduced it to 50,000 US dollars. So what's going to happen is these same foreigners are going to be taking advantage of this particular proclamation. So this is one of the reasons why we need to have strict rules, making sure that we have set objective rules that really protect our citizens, because these foreigners will find loopholes.
Yes, Brother Muna. And this is one of the weaknesses, actually, that has given momentum to the foreign investors. Because if you look at even these, the so-called the Chinese, let's talk about the Chinese whom we know, how their government works. You know, it is all about a Chinese agreeing, coming to Africa and accepting the condition. The government is willing to pump in that particular individual entrepreneur. But if you look at our system doesn't operate like that, Brother Muna. So automatically, it pushes a local entrepreneur out of the game, and it leaves, you know, the off-law for the foreigners to be running these systems. So if the government is really sure of the inclusiveness of the local entrepreneur, they have to put in place some strict regulations so that a local entrepreneur at the end of the day will be able to be part of the game. Otherwise, a local entrepreneur actually will always be a spectator of the economic drive.
So, Brother Jason,
yes,
what's the manageable threshold for the majority of Zambian local entrepreneurs? Is it $3,000? Is it $5,000? Is it $2,500? I mean, let's look at it from across the nation. What is a fair investment threshold in order for them to have certain perks and incentives to get into entrepreneurship? According to you, since you run a business.
Yeah, well, because Brother Muna, if we are to factor in, you know, quality and also efficiency, maybe we can talk over 5,000 so that we are able to perceive who is capable of coming into play. So personally, you know, it is my opinion. I feel if it can be at $5,000,
yes,
then that would be fair for a local entrepreneur actually to come into play. If we are to factor in quality and efficiency and also integrity of a business.
Exactly, profound, because ngamwafichipisha sana kusanga vyati bonse fezomba bamba kokuingira, but 5,000 exactly. So the best thing to do is introduce different tiers, different categories. Your lowest threshold could be 5,000. Then when the business expands, they have now capital of about 10,000 to 20,000. They migrate and they have better benefits and incentives. So like that, they're going to be indirectly encouraging people to expand their businesses and get more advantages and benefits and perks. So like that, you really get to encourage the local entrepreneurs who at least have got that business acumen, not if you ever ego. So 5,000 is a good amount.
That's why, Brother Muna, if you remember, we discussed this issue of the cooperatives. You know, the way they are being run, you know, it is not effective enough. Because, you know, even somebody who's never run a business before, you know, is forced to be part of the cooperative. And it is bringing a lot of confusion. Somebody without a business background, what the government should have done, they had to go they had to go to the ground, look at the potential business people, you know, they need to come up with that intel whereby they are able to investigate how many people are capable of running businesses, and what is it that is actually impeding their businesses not to grow. But if you look at the system of no, we need just to bring everyone on board, a youth and the like, because if they do that, then it will mean this project that the New Dawn government has come up of Yama project, Brother Muna, Yama cooperatives, it is not going to work out. They should have done to say, they should have done to say, let us look at the potential entrepreneurs, individual potential entrepreneurs, let them be given the conditions, the terms and conditions to say, if we are to empower you, let's say, I'm going to be engaged in garbage correction. So you have already got that entrepreneurial expertise. So we are going to ask you to bring on board about 50 youths to work under you. But if you look at the system that they are using, even somebody who's never run a business before is asked to come up with a cooperative. Do you really think, Brother Muna, these cooperatives are going to be effective and profitable at the end of the day? It is no. It is no, because you are giving the responsibilities to amateurs without experience, without actually the muscle of a business at play. Yes. Because most people are just excited to say, let us register these cooperatives without even proper structures of how they are going to run these businesses. Exactly. So personally, I may ask the New Dawn government to revise the so-called AMA cooperatives here. Otherwise, they will just go back like to the way of Citizen Economic Empowerment Fund, whereby a cadre is given some money, Land Cruiser, because a guy doesn't have a business experience whatsoever. So the New Dawn government, let them not be driven out of excitement just to please anybody. In leadership, you shouldn't be somebody who is supposed to be a people pleaser, but you should be somebody who's supposed to deliver, so that at the end of the day, even the so-called the critics, they will be able to appreciate you. I always talk of Bamwanawasa fiare mleka kata fia bombe. But he was not excited to please everyone. But at the end of the day, everyone appreciated. Yes. So the New Dawn government, they have to put the board down, let them revise how they are going to run these cooperatives, and ensure that at the end of the day, these cooperatives are going to be handed the funding, so to say, they are going to be handed to people who are credible, and at the end of the day, everyone who benefit, including the so-called critics. I submit, Brother Muna.
Mkwai. So speaking about Mwanawasa, right? The New Dawn government is in a potential similar situation with regards to the Kwacha, the world economic recession, etc. So during the Mwanawasa tenure, right? Obviously that was from is it 2001, right? Till what year did the MMD till 2011, right? So basically, it was during these times. This was the Kwacha performance from 2001 to about 2011. Okay, so we had instances where the Kwacha was appreciating against the dollar, and it was doing very well. But of course, it really started depreciating at some time. So during this particular fracas, which is happening in the world, where we can have like a potential economic meltdown, right? The Kwacha is obviously going to appreciate, and it is going to gain value, and it is going to be slightly stronger. So with all the things that are going to be in effect, for example, inflation, etc., and all that stuff, right? The New Dawn government is going to have some challenges. with regards to how they are going to be conducting their daily businesses. So just like you said, Brother Jason, right? These cooperatives that are going to be empowered, they have to be given a mandate to at least employ 20 people, upwards of 20 people, because by the end of it, or we're just going to have, fake business people who are just going to be forming these cooperatives, just like you said, and they're going to be benefiting off of them. So the idea here is when you empower one person, this one person has to also empower 20 people, 50 people. That's how we collectively and benefit from these CDF funds that they are given. So yeah, anyway, we have the political activist Zambia. I don't know whether you can hear us, so kindly unmute yourself, political activist. So what is your contribution? I saw you were talking about the councillors etc.
Yeah, first and foremost, tunafaa okulanda ko ati New Dawn government moile bomba sana bwino mulando wakweba ati salaries nabashita increase civil servant fyonze firenda fe bwino. I think natukwata na freedom mukyalo fyatwale butawuka pa station kutina nokukwera bus twale butawuka fye kyali kyalo kya Nkondo kulayipana n'obufi government yali yabufi sana ili ya government yabipa sana yali ya ku dictatorship but kyalo apa kyaba fe nomo fe buno efintu firenda fe buno nomba okulira kwesu ku bantu abaletu mwenekera pa ground abaletu bombera pa ground pa local level ifindu tafiri bwino muremona CDF how can you
but political analyst before tamuna konka nyapo you're speaking from experience, so what's your position muri structures muri ba UPND or bunch? I know you're anonymous right now, but just give us so we understand who we're talking to.
Inebakalamba for political analyst ndamon dastafe analyze for firende finto. I'm non-partisan.
Okay, konkanye nipo.
So inenda ndeta shapo babifia inenda study book apa awama kutasha tatasha mwana wa kasatana. So inende tasha New Dawn government but echo nde konkomisha po sana chako bati ama councillors aba mamona ifiriro ba MP bafura 35 pin balala fya poleka funa amafoni tabasuka ama residents abareba tumina ama community residents tabasuka no kwasuka uchurira mu bakalamba ni kansera bakalamba nombaline nshara ndefiri fyonse kansera bali uwa mu Lusaka muno mwine bali mutamfya barandurodi munganda mu myankwe
bakambana chirara na ba Oscar uku vintu nafi vipano kwa structures tabarekala bwino reality background but anyway konkanya nipo
na chumfa buno bakalamba mwachiranda buno sana I think ile sari mpera ko wisdom kala kambye ko tawingeshi babuno bwino ari mipera imu amano mwari kwatafe sana murashitana rise fintu fya mano wakalamba makansela nshalumboreshi nali ako akansela but bali mutamfya munganda balandrodi. Just imagine what an embarrassment. Kansela bakalamba wako bati ichiriro bonse abantu alifira no kupema ama cause after cause. Kansela alifira no kushitensa pato ya rondoloka bwino. Kansela because umuntu ofwa baba kalamba omuntu ofwa kansela ngawine bamona kwati government impera akaboko scandal marabika munganda so abantu babutukira fe kuri kansela every time so nomba kansela tare sungwa bwino bakalamba 3 pin katushinga 3 pin basende wine 3 pin bakalamba $10 3 pin pantu na tissue per month fe tissue fe bwino tetu ushtemo bwino tissue fe kukwana per month fofo tuikala family yesu bakalamba tuikatwa abali 11 3 pin bakalamba takudoko ingaya nima problems yeka kama councillors barechura bakalamba 3 pin ile bakalamba tapali no ingaya because councillor ali kwata family abantu aba pa ground amanga ndanga yatobeka bakansira twafweni kwechi bonze fama problems bakalamba wadi baba ama councillors mulya mwali mama doctors ama nurses ama teachers aba pusana naba balundira masalari but bali abantu nga bakwata problem beta councillor alabomfya transport yakwe okuya pa ground ukupitana. I'll give an example. Councillor bampera 60 kwacha monthly allowance. No, transport allowance bakalamba councillor wa sender. For example, nangure fumina I'll give an example. Ama councillors baile kuchongo ku workshop. Ukubapera transport allowance bakalamba 60 kwacha bakalamba kufuma ku Lusaka ukuya kuchongo kuchali mbana mkusambirira bakalamba shiwa 60 kwacha shuwa
Eida nachirala ndati nga mwamona situation ile ishtika background ka palasta babene ama councillors ama chairman ebalamba ko kufaya ama alternatives pakuti ba survive because abenge ama councillors balechura just like you have pointed out. So finish if you alabadesha ukwamba ko ukula shafira ba PF for baderanda kwamba ko kula pokempia muma market so nangu ba president balande fintu ama structures ayanga tabade balore keshapo to ala again ku zero. So at least tudelanda ti bambe ko kula ba treating akwati nimfu mutrelanda fiati awe nani vomfeni ubuntu so that ababantu abale kwata kwa at least batika make up bale kala kofi bwino pa no because impiosha bale bapera shi no bala kwata ma cause yonse constituency ile batumina kabiri ni ba cancel kabiri hapo futhi badoni ebengire mu buteko so abantu bale makwaza abantu nababeola kansha abantu tabakoite nempia yako dipira rent mamona nka
mumon so bakalamba fumalanda fishing kasana namwana bakalamba twaliranda ati namushiba government irefa ikayarero kishapa makansela nga barefiro kubarundire ndalama just imagine barefo kwingisha ama teachers 30,000 ama teachers mwamana ka plus bambi bare barundira ama salary plus bushe ama councillors mu Zambia baba banga bushe bari pitira 2,000 tabapitira na 2,000 nishita benga roro kesha pama councillors at least akwata kofena nkasara ka 15 pin because wodia kwaliba ama sacrifice if councillor to akwata bakalamba alafu yanenda la maisha pa pocket ku sponsor ma transport ya pa filiro bambita bakwata ma coffee ni abashitira ngarana fati nshikwete bakalamba nishibampata bambo kumutuka bambo kulande fia pusana because tabakwata understanding at councillor for 3 pin councillor limbale sonkele ngande ya 2 pin ala shut up on 1 pin because pa paper pa constitution ilanda at councillor ni part time but pa paper ni part time pa ground ni full time so bakalamba councillor tatushapo muntu fyo wachula ofo mwena councillors nangwa joina bu councillor na kwata motoka but pakufuma pali bu councillor ala fuma pona ma tropical why mulando wako bati ama councillors bakalamba tawawa sunga bwino ya government ya PF ya fumine po constitution yabo ama MPs bali fianga sana ama councillors tabade fire ama councillors baba ko pale apa suma because wala manakwati wala basendero mpando ama MPs wala panga bare kara mtu bungwe pede MP sitting allowance 15 dimbama committee ala ikaramo ni ebiri ala fura 3 pin pede numba councillor salary 3 pin what nonsense is that mwamwana so ama MPs bare kara no kuirundiro tuma salary bare nenepa otufuma turefuma councillor ole bomba pa ground tapari fire chitika new dawn government isule nyamenso dodekeshe ni pa backbone ya development councillor kumulolekesha ponga mafiru akumungisha okumulundira na 15 pin na 20 councillor mfaireni nchito na ngumzie dara ale yabombe na mwatuma kwa kuzedala ena ngo bali 5 ya councillors bale uforako because part time job yako bati ale bombako omuntu at least wala understand that ni councillor akwata mabizi oyo so manje kuzesco batumako na ngo bali 5 ku company batumako bali 5 uku bale bombako ama councillors ngana bafiro ko barundira kwendalama my ideas fetole toleba perako ba new don government ni government imo ile bomba bwino sana na yamba bwino na tukwatamo na hope bati potolero rekesha pofe pali ma councillors ama councillors bakaramba barenwa supu ba councillors tawashita pona suti ama afuara fefi ale pauka ngakwari bo muntu wachula bakaramba otalala uchula uikatapa aya kufua surure fimbusu 24 hours service umuntu nafa munganda kuno bakansela tole mifwaya ngata uireko kansela ngata moneke toramone fichitika wala batuka wala makanselas momona nombendala mashiria mutripini munyamwine ala survivor shani ama business so tudelo mbako bakaramba ngamwema my fellow activist kwati mumwe bakaramba imo aliendelea sana ifo mfutuli ma activist village activist imoni rural ni original bakaramba landeni ko pama councillors ama councillors kokoleni posana because awabene 25 million mwatwala pa ground lomba councillor ore fora 3 pin 3 pin akafirwa shanu uko lyabo pa 25 so baroreke shepo prevention is better than cure era mwana ma councillors nomba bambo kuingira maproto kushama nganda ya bene mulando wako bati councillor tabale musunga bwino councillor bamusunga bwino more especially murusaka bakaramba a capital city councillor sure na cleaner home government are for up more than councillor what nonsense is this bakaramba nangu sitting allowance bakaramba ni 350 a sitting allowance olo tabekala lyonse within a month tabaikaremo baraikala maybe after a month sitting allowance 350 bakaramba na 60 kwacha transport allowance bishe bakansera bare basunga bwino because bakansera chili chonse cha mukomboni nangu mwebene mwali kwata kansera na mwebale tamba bonse ndemo na twa Richard Bwaria ba shane perspective shinshinyoko imo bonse uko mufuma kwa aba kansera mwalishi wa pressure makansera bapitamo na twishi bati tete barundira papene na ngushani na shani but ifine bare rokisha pama teachers na bambi bare barundira masalari before tawalangisha na banchito bambi bare rokeshepo iyi case ili agent sana ili atetore ati mailo masoshinji tulefa makanseras babaro rokeshepo Natasha
awe twatotera sana ba political activist anyway ba brother Richard tufire to aisara nomba tupere no opinion yenu tufire to ayonkusendama now you're okay, you can go on.
This comrade political activities you are now on councillors.
No, we are concluding. Give us your concluding remarks in about 2 minutes. We're concluding up as well, but for the 2
Okay. No, as this colleague has articulated a lot of issues. Indeed, councillorship, they have got a very big task in these wards where they belong to. And they spent a lot of money. We have seen that. Yes, they have been helping the ward. So at least they have to be given something so that they are helping the community as per ward. So I just end there. I thank you.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Brother Richard. Hope to have you again some other time. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So kumalo ansho kumwika de wino sana. So thank you, take care, and see you some other time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we had for you tonight. So that was today was a slow news day. More news that topics but at least we showed up because 90% is showing up, So I'm very happy that you guys obviously stuck with us, and despite the absence that we had because we were just taking a break, because when you do this like on a daily basis, sometimes you get overwhelmed. So we took our break, and we know the vision and the direction where we want to take Z Corner. We know our steps, and we're going to be executing. So thank you very much for supporting us at this particular moment. So we're going to be having interesting guests from all sectors of Zambia, showbiz. We're going to be having entrepreneurs, politicians, and just interesting Zambians. So we really want to expand this particular platform because I think not Dumina and Gishati we're capable. I think we've showed you our prowess and the things that we can achieve. So it's obviously time to evolve. It's time to evolve and take this platform to a new level and just add value to Zambia. So thank you very much for sticking around, and we hope to be here at least on a daily basis. We're going to be giving you at least maybe 1 hour, maybe 2 hours live stream, and just keep you updated because this is very crucial. And this is all I had for you tonight. Thank you very much. Take care and be blessed.